What's up, fellas? RAIDER is easily my most popular program. Thousands of people have ran it now at this point. You're gonna run RAIDER if you wanna get really big, really strong, and learn the essentials that are gonna help you throughout your long-term training career. You can find that for free right now in the description, either on Boostcamp or on the best Google spreadsheets in the game. Now, this program was definitely made with beginner and intermediate level lifters in mind, but one thing that I fucking hate about program overview videos is when people literally just read the program to you, bro. I know y'all know how to read. I'm not gonna do that. Do this exercise, rest this much. That's what running the program's for. But what I am gonna do is give you some things as Paris the lifter. Tell you things that I would do if I were you, if I was running RAIDER, in my journey to run it and rerun it and get really big and strong. Before we get into the RAIDER golden tidbits, I got something exciting for y'all. It's another giveaway. So something that I like to do on my channel is that I give back to the people, you, that have made opportunities to lift weights for a living possible for me. It's crazy, bro. Today, I'm gonna have a giveaway for Legion Athletics supplements. Now, you're gonna enter by liking this video, subscribing if you're not already, and then following Legion on Instagram. Leave a comment saying you entered and we'll randomly select you based upon that in a couple weeks. Let me tell you something about Legion. When they reached out to me, I was a little bit nervous just because supplements are a slippery slope, meaning you end up spending money on a lot of bullshit that doesn't do anything, and you end up wasting your time and ultimately being frustrated with going to the gym when it should be positive. Companies have sent me free samples before, and they're like, well, taste it, let me know what you think. And then I get back to them and I'm basically like, man, that shit was gross, not interested. So when Legion reached out to me, I was nervous, but one of the green flags was that, dude, they were like, man, promote what you actually use and just be yourself. And I was like, say no more. Send me a free sample. They sent me a sample, and I'll tell you what, fellas, that problem with it being gross, I double scooped that sample bag down to the white meat. I think it was the cinnamon toast crunch or the cinnamon cereal flavor. Incredible. And right now, I'm sipping on the banana bread flavor. This is probably my favorite. When you win, there's gonna be 3 winners. You're gonna get a pick of any product that you want, but I'll tell you something, fellas. I use protein powder, I use creatine, and I use a multivitamin, and occasionally a pre-workout. So I'm gonna recommend you pick from those family of products because to me, those are the ones that are gonna move the needle the best in terms of the gym. And for people with the unfortunate condition of being sensitive to dairy products like myself, it does pass the mud blast test, all right, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm gonna maybe pick one additional winner for a custom free reusable template. We can base that on any program just to give y'all something to work with in terms of your training as well. All right, boom, back to RAIDER. So this is a pure bodybuilding program that will also make you very generally strong because I drive hypertrophy by using squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, like the big essential movements. But also this is a program that I want you to run for at least a year. Here's the thing, fellas, and I'm gonna talk to you just as, like I said, Paris the lifter and not Paris the educator. You need to run something for an appreciable amount of time before you decide if it works for you or not. There's gonna be aspects of every program that you kind of need to retool, but for the most part, like a well-written program is gonna work for everybody, bro. That's my hot take. Like, so many people wanna be the exception to the rule. Oh, I'm not a responder to this, bro. Put in some work, master your movements, and get good at the program that you're running. Adjust the little things that you need to like, buy into it and actually like what you're doing. But for the most part, bro, a basic program like RAIDER is gonna work for everybody. And it's something that you should milk out because the intention is for you to run it as a beginner well into intermediate status, whatever that looks like for you. I'm gonna give you a couple pointers though, starting with which should you pick? Like, why pick RAIDER over Beast Slayer? I made a video and several videos basically glazing Beast Slayer. I keep up on the lingo, fellas. I know what that means. I was glazing Beast Slayer. So which do you pick? They both sound awesome. One thing I'll say is that RAIDER comes with a lot of built-in form critiques, showing you how to pick exercises, how to use good technique, and things of that nature. Just basic stuff that you need to learn in your training career versus Beast Slayer is more customizable on the end of, it assumes that you know those things and just tells you different exercises and how to customize the program to make it best for you or suit whatever goal you have. So if you have the goal of 1 rep max weighted pull-up, Beast Slayer is very adaptable towards that, where RAIDER just isn't. But what I'll say is if you're newer, you're like really new to the gym, you don't know what RPE means, you don't know what all the jargon shit that we on YouTube Fitness act like normal motherfuckers know what it means. If you don't know what that is, RAIDER. But if you have some level of experience, Beast Slayer is still also good for all experience levels. But I'm assuming today that you've bought into the RAIDER program, so that's what we're gonna be talking about. But I just wanted to quickly address that. A big thing that I wanna advise y'all in is which exercises should you pick, and I'm gonna give you the honest truth, fellas. In terms of the squat, bench, and the deadlift, you're gonna be doing those pretty much no matter what variation of the program you run, 1.5 times a week. And all 1.5 times frequency means is it's a gigabrain way of saying, hey, we're not doing a squat twice a week, but we're doing something close to it on that second day so we can still practice the art of doing a squat pattern motion, but doing something that's slightly different so that we work on some different physical qualities and so that we're not just ramming and railing the same movement pattern over and over again. So boom, those don't change. Squat, bench, and deadlift, they don't change. We're waving up the intensity and the volume and the reps that you do, so you're covered. It's not gonna beat you up and not changing it. But in terms of the curls and extensions and everything else on the program, that is more variable. Here's the truth with that, fellas. Just do the exercises that you buy into. If you think that incline curl is cool, you can pick that. If you think hammer curls are cool, you can do that. A lot of shit is gonna work really well for you, and as I said earlier, everyone wants to be the exception to the rule. There's room for optimization, but when you're building your base of muscle and just connecting well with exercise in general, you need to get good at basic shit before you start to try everything else. It's like, imagine if you wanted to learn karate, and you're like, I don't wanna fucking learn this bullshit, I'm gonna learn Taekwondo. And then you're like, I don't wanna learn this bullshit, I'm gonna learn whatever the fuck, space kung fu, I don't fucking know, bro, but you need to master one art before you move to another, especially if you're really new to it. And exercise is the same way. The best way I can put it is that something that you really like and are bought into, and if you do it really well, you're gonna get a lot better of a result from just smashing that than trying to figure out what the best one is. Now, if you're asking me which ones I would pick, well, just watch how I train, bro. The exercises I do are fucking chatty. You can do those if you want to. Those will work just fine as well. Now, in terms of when you switch up the variations, like the curls and the extensions and everything else other than squat, bench, and deadlift, make it real easy, bro. It's not rocket science. Every time you run the program to completion, or every time and a half, meaning like halfway through your second run, you can switch some of the variations up if they're feeling stale or if you're bored with them or you just want to try something new. But one thing I'll tell you is that, bro, just between you and me, I haven't changed a lot of the exercises in my program in probably like 4 or 5 months, bro. I think that the idea that exercises get stale is somewhat cope, in my opinion. Meaning, like, it's not that it's stale, bro. Just say that you're bored, because there's always room to do a movement a little bit better or to progress it a little bit more. It's just a lot of times we're human. We get bored, we just want to try stuff. But then sometimes shit does get stale as well. So make it easy on yourself. If you change it every 8 to 12 weeks, that's perfectly fine as well. But one thing I'll tell you that is 1000% the truth, this isn't me talking as an educator, is that in my experience, getting really good at an exercise over the longest period of time that you can do it is what's going to give you the best gains. Meaning, if you can look at it like this, you want to, over the course of a year, get your incline curl from 30 pounds for 10 to 50 pounds for 10. You should want to do incline curls as often and for as long as you can to get to that goal. It's like riding a bike or learning any skill. You want to do it as often as possible and do it for as long of a period of time as possible. So that's a truism, and I'm gonna just leave with y'all as you continue to practice just changing shit every 8 to 12 weeks. Now, over time, you may find that like 12 weeks in, you're like, man, I don't want to change this. I'm still maxing out on the movements. I'm still adding reps and weight and shit. Like, there's no reason for me to change it. And that's 1000% the truth. Now, in terms of the progressions and shit, I was going to explain double progressions, but honestly, the thought of that just made me retch and pissed me off because I'm tired of talking about that. I've talked about it on so many different videos. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos or hearing about double progression, that's not a slight against you, man. It's just something that I include in all my programs, and it's not something I'm gonna waste your time explaining. You can read it there. Or you can search up one of my old videos where I talk about it. But what I do wanna talk about is that the program outlines a progression that the program is designed to work with that progression in mind. Meaning, if you don't follow it as it's written, I can't guarantee your success. Here's the thing, fellas. People are gonna look at that double progression and say, fuck that. I'm gonna take all my sets to failure from week 1 just because I heard Johnny Bodybuilder say that that's what you need to do to make gains. And on top of that, I'm only going to do 2 sets instead of 3, or I'm going to do 1 set instead of 3. You can get good results just by going to the gym and smashing weights like a psychopathic caveman. I've been there, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that doesn't work, it does. But there's a point in your training career where you need to learn something called creating momentum. The reason the double progression is laid out the way that it is because it's trying to teach you something. You can't just horsecock your way through a program the entire time. You need to pull back and be able to create momentum to then be able to create speed to smash through a plateau. It's a really simple concept. It takes a lot of people a long time to master, and that's why, again, RAIDER is a program where you are learning a lot of the essentials, because that's something that you're going to be doing if you're really strong, really good at bodybuilding, whatever it is that you're doing. As you get really developed, it's still something that you're going to need to do. But don't listen to me. I'm just some dude on the internet, right? Just listen to the best people in the world across every strength sport. They create momentum in their training. And a lot of them use performance enhancers, bro, on top of that. So you're gonna tell me that you're better at training than someone that has elite genetics and on top of that is using anabolics, bro. It doesn't even sound right. So just, if you wanna go to the gym and smash weights like a fucking caveman, it's a lot of fun, bro. Don't get me wrong. But if you're looking to get better at your training, just do what the fuck the program is saying, man. It's gonna teach you something really valuable. I got a hot take just to end everything off that was emblematic of what we just talked about, dude. It was something along the lines of you shouldn't have to follow the rules of a program to run it. And it was awesome because it was a hot take. I'm like, man, I'm pissed. This doesn't even make sense. That's not to slight the dude that said it because, like, this is your opinion, and I think this is a good discussion piece. This is what we're talking about. But I'm gonna leave you with this before we go to the last thing. That's like going to karate class and saying to your karate instructor, fuck it, bro, I'm gonna do kung fu. It just doesn't make sense, bro. The hat's coming on and off today, fellas. I can't resist. Let me tell you a little bit of lore about the hat. I wear this specific hat because this is the hat that I wore when I went to the Gaines Goblin. It's my lucky hat, so it's moving like that TI meme. I think one of my boys said that in another video. But anyway, last thing that I want to really talk about before we go into the conclusion of what I want you to know on RAIDER is the diet. Now, obviously, if you've been watching me for long enough, or if this is your first time, I'll say it, bro, you should be in a small calorie surplus. You should be drinking water throughout the day. You should be sleeping as much as possible. Those are your non-training variables. You can watch more about how to optimize those in the BERSERK Method 2023. It'll be updated a little bit in the 2024 edition, but it's pretty comprehensive there as well. I'm gonna tell you something that I have personally bought into that I think will help you a lot on your diet, and run it by your doctor and everything and shit too, but I'm not gonna tell you anything crazy, I think. High amounts of protein. I think that when you look at the most muscular people on earth, the common denominator is that they don't buy into that gram of protein per pound of body weight thing. They eat a little bit more than that. If you can afford it, and if it's within your means to do so, I think that eating a lot of protein and a lot of protein in one meal is just beneficial. I have my gyro bowl. Let me know if y'all want the gyro bowl video. I might make a freaking short if enough people comment and say, release the gyro bowl. All right, so comment, release the gyro bowl if you want to see that. But it's a meal that I really like. It's a great muscle building meal. It has probably 100 plus grams of protein in it. We're talking lamb, chicken, the tzatziki sauce, which is made out of Greek yogurt. It's got the feta cheese. It's incredible. It's got the potatoes, dog. It's really good, but it has a lot of protein, and I eat the whole entire bowl all at once. And I have meals like that throughout the day. Another thing now that I'm talking about that is that have shit that you eat where when you eat it, it just makes you feel strong. That makes sense to the people it makes sense to. So if your mom cooks you burgers and fries or some shit like that, or fucking chicken parmesan or whatever the fuck, and you eat that and it makes you feel strong, make sure you eat that often as opposed to eating shit that just on paper is good for you, like chicken, broccoli, and brown rice, and sugar-free barbecues. Ain't nobody trying to eat that shit, man. It's fucking pencil neck dweeb eat that, bro. Like, eat shit that makes you feel strong. All right, very last thing. Moving on to the next program. This isn't going to be a forever program for most people, although it can be. And for many people that says, yeah, it's going to be a forever program for me because I don't really want to get so jacked. What a lot of things in life with hobbies is that you say that shit and then you get to a certain level and you want to achieve the next level above that. So for the next program, this is a perfect bridge into any intermediate or advanced program, or programs that accommodate for intermediate or advanced lifters. You run this for about a year and a half, 2 years, different iterations of it. So you customize it, you change the exercises so that it's not the same thing over and over again. You can bridge into something like Beast Slayer that you can also find for free in the description on Boostcamp. Again, thousands of people running it between Boostcamp and Google Sheets. It's a really popular program as well. Or any other specialized program. The idea here is that RAIDER is very general. It's attacking many of the basic things that you need to develop when you're a newer lifter. But when you find that you need more specialization to improve, and this isn't Johnny One Plate that just walked into the gym talking about I'm gonna have an arm specialization phase. You need a full body specialization phase, bro. There's no reason for you to specialize if your body's underdeveloped in general. But once you have that base of technical prowess in your training, you put on some good muscle mass, some good strength relative to where you started at. So you're like 1.5 or 2 times as strong as when you started, bro. Don't trust me on the math. I'm just saying you've gotten substantially stronger since then, because that might be crazy. Some people might take that too literally. But you've gotten stronger and bigger and more technically proficient. Move on to something that's a little bit more advanced after you've put the work in. Beast Slayer is perfect. I also have Powerbomb and Bald Swordsman for those that are brave and want to run a really grueling full body program. That's all she wrote though, fellas. RAIDER is a really good program and it's been loyal to a lot of people. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel from this video, and then follow Legion on Instagram to enter my free Legion Athletic Supplement giveaway. Also watch these videos now that you've watched this one. Y'all have a great day. By the way, fellas, y'all ever grow up and like your parents be pressed if you open 2 boxes of cereal at the same time? I know that's a shared experience we all got. But why were they so mad, bro? Like, anyway, yeah, I'm grown, so I'm gonna open both of these, or I have opened both of these, and we're gonna put a scoop each into this blender with some bananas and peanut butter.